Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is fill in my model's brows starting from the back, working my way towards the front. I'm using the Absolute Brow Pencil. This one is the Absolute Slim Brow Pencil. This one is in the color Smoke. I could have went lighter on the brows, but I could not find the other pencil that I usually use on lighter skin tone clients, and that is the color Espresso. So I had to work with what I had. I'm also using a spoolie brush to lay down her brow hairs and also make sure that it is blended. The brow pencil is blended with the hair. I'm holding her brow up a little bit just to make sure that the shape is maintained. As you guys can see there, I'm just making sure that I go through the full brow with the mascara wand, or spoolie brush is what we like to call it. I'm just making sure that everything looks good because we're going to go and clean it up with concealer afterwards. After we have the brows filled in how we want them to be, I'm going to go ahead and take this flat concealer brush, and I'm actually going to take this e.l.f. concealer. I love e.l.f. concealer. This is the one in the black top. That's the one that I use for underneath the brows. Now, you could use whatever concealer you want. I'm just saying this is my favorite. It does dry very, very fast, but I like that. It's like a thicker material, a thicker formula. So I like that for underneath the brows because it makes the brows more sharp. So yeah, I'm just starting from the front, working my way towards the back, and I'm using a Real Techniques blending brush to blend out underneath that crease. Yeah, we want to blend until we have no more harsh lines. Once we have that under eye concealer blended, I'm going to take this opaque concealer, also from e.l.f., the one with the black top. You guys, I'm going to have everything listed below, and I will also have it linked in my Amazon storefront if you want to purchase any of the products that I use, if they are something that I get from Amazon. I normally use P. Louise eyeshadow primer, but I'm out and they're overseas and it's too much money for me to be getting it from them. So until I find a way or something better, this is what I'm using as an eyeshadow primer on the eyelid. You guys always want to prime the lid, okay? That's something that you always want to do. Here I'm taking the Morphe eyeshadow brush. I don't know which number, but I'll list it below. I'm taking this brown shade from the Remedy by Ari palette. This is the Nudes palette. No tea, no shade, but she got a really nice brown in there. Like, it's not too red and it's not too cool tone. It's like right in the middle. But anyway, it's a good eyeshadow for transition. So I'm placing that all through the mobile lid. I'm sorry, all through the transition, which is the crease basically. Once both of the eyelids are done with the crease, which is like our transition shade, I'm actually going to take that same opaque concealer from e.l.f. I'm going to put it on the mobile lid. Now, I was supposed to create like a soft crease, which is kind of like a blown out cut crease. It's not really like any structure to it. But unfortunately, this concealer dries down way too fast. Like, once I put it on, I really wasn't able to move it around like how I wanted to. So it kind of became like a messed up cut crease. But in the end, it all came together. Like, it actually still was cute in the end. But I was mad right here at myself, not really at the situation, because dang, I really need to just buy some eyeshadow primer. I think James Charles got some good eyeshadow primer, and this girl Brianna Marie. I need to check, see which one I want to get, because I need to get some eyeshadow primer, and I'm really particular on the kind that I use. Like, I like a very opaque eyeshadow primer because I want my colors to pop up bright, bright, bright. So depending on what eyeshadow primer you use, it depends on how your colors come out. So here I am trying to blend out the concealer. As you can see, it's really not moving. Honestly, it's not. So I'm going to take some of that brown eyeshadow from the Remedy by Ari palette, and I'm going to go ahead and blend out the corners. Pretty much that's all I can do in this situation. Like, you win some, you lose some. But I promise you, if you stay tuned, this look is still going to come out bomb. I promise you. So what we do in this situation is we take a little bit of the eyeshadow and we just blend out the edges of the cut crease. This is kind of like how I ombre a cut crease. I would have a better example if I use the right concealer, the right eyeshadow primer, but just understand that this is how you do it. You know, just light tapping motions. You don't want to go all the way too far in. Just concentrate on just the edge of the cut crease. You just want it to kind of be blended and look like ombre, basically. Yeah, my model was turned up and she was feeling herself as she should, period. She's a pretty girl. Gonna put her information right here. But right now I'm taking this pink shadow. This is from the Believe Beauty, or is it Melissa? I don't know. It's a pink palette. Everybody use it. It's like a blush palette. Everybody uses the same palette in the industry, child. I just love it. The pretty pink right here. It's a matte shadow. Unfortunately, we was doing a lot of moving, so my camera became blurry. I, I'm still figuring out my camera, to be honest, but yes, I'm placing that pink shade on the mobile lid, which is where we got the matte concealer. Remember the really thick matte white concealer? Yeah, I'm putting that on top of there, and that's what makes your colors pop. Now, unfortunately, I did use the wrong brush. I should have used a flat eyeshadow brush, because if you look in the crease, there's a part that was not covered by the eyeshadow. But unfortunately, you know, we still got to keep it going. We still got to do what we got to do. This look is actually coming out cute, and yeah, moving forward. Here I am. I'm using this water activated liner. This liner is from Sueva Sueva Beauty, I believe. And I mixed pink with red to get kind of like hot pink. I really wanted to do an ombre liner, but it wasn't coming out right, so I just ended up doing just a straight pink liner. But here I am creating the outline of the liner, and then I go in and fill in the liner. When you're doing liner, you guys, it's important to take your time. Take your time. Do not let your client rush you. Take your time, especially when you're doing something tedious like this. Honestly, I cannot stress this enough. Just take your time. I use a really, really thin brush to get those water activated liners, because if I use a thick brush and I make a mistake, it's like a big mistake. A thin brush lets me make a smaller mistake, if that makes any sense. Plus, I like the more elongated wings when I'm making a color activated liner, so a thin brush can help with that, because it's just really, I'm not putting that much pressure. The brush is doing all the work. Once we have lined both eyes, I'm going to go ahead and start the foundation process. I'm using a flat concealer brush. I don't know where this concealer brush is from, so I'm going to list it below once I go and look at my things and find out where it's from. Also, part of this process, the concealer part, my placement of the concealer, it got cut out. So you're going to see a really fast clip from my phone showing the placement of the concealer because my camera, my actual big Canon camera, it overheated. So yeah, just stay tuned and just watch. I'm going to shut up right now and just let you guys watch how I do the foundation, and then it's going to cut to the placement of the concealer, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now that the concealer is placed, I like to go ahead and blend out the edges of everything first. This is my trick to getting a bright under eye. Um, Please disregard my model. She is putting her camera in front of the camera, but you can still kind of see what's going on in the back. Basically, just blending out the edges really softly. That's a Real Techniques brush. But yeah, she is feeling herself, y'all. This look is eating down. Um, Tapping motions, very, very light. I'm not really forcing nothing here. That concealer is fresh. Now, the concealer that I'm using, that's also from e.l.f., but it's the white cap. So the white cap I like to use under the eyes, on the forehead, on the bridge of the nose, and the chin. And the black cap I like to use for under the eyebrows. And obviously now I have to use it for the eyelid as well. But it's coming out so pretty. Look how it's lifted up in the corner, like by her eye, by her eyeliner. I just love that process. I like to make the face look more lifted, like more chinky kind of. No disrespect, but yeah. I love how this look is coming out. I'm taking a flat foundation brush and I'm using the color Caracas. It's like a darker color, like a medium 2 or 3 from uh, Nars. It's a foundation shade, and I'm using that as contour. I contour under the cheek, on the cheek, and a little bit of the forehead. But sometimes that's hard to do when a person has a lot of baby hair. Sometimes I'll just go around them and not, oh my God, look at my ashy ass elbow. Ooh, I mean my ashy elbow. Anyways, I'm taking a Real Techniques angled brush and I'm blending out that bronzer. As you can see, I still have that concealer sitting up under the eye. I like to let my concealer sit and do its thing and kind of like get a little bit dry before I just go to straight blending it out. That's how you make things pop. That's how you get that it girl look. Period. Slay. I'm taking a blush, a liquid blush. This is from Juvia's place. Y'all, if y'all ever wanted a bomb liquid blush, please, Juvia's Place is that girl. Like, that blush is so bomb. I'm gonna have it listed below in the description box which color I use, but it came out so, so, so pretty. Like, just look at it. Like, ooh, like it looked like a little apple, like a crispy apple on a cheek or something. It's really cute. And I'm using that same Real Techniques brush that I used to blend out that bronzer. Yeah, I'm using that for the blush. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes I use the same brush for different things. Like, you don't have to do makeup a certain way. Do what works for you, babe. Now the thing about me is I'm gonna tell you when mistakes are made. A mistake was made here. Well, it wasn't really a mistake. It was just something that happened. She had to use the bathroom, so the concealer, and she had to go use the restroom. She had to tinkle, so the concealer ended up sitting a little bit too long. But that's okay. It still came out bomb. I'm using this angled flat blending brush. I actually got that from Shein, believe it or not. And I'm blending under the eye. Light tapping motions. You don't got to do too much. But as you can see, honestly, just blending upward is what I use to get kind of like that flawless, kind of like airbrush type of look. And letting it sit a long time is kind of what is making it a little bit hard to blend, but it's still able to blend, as you guys can see. I'm gonna put the description of that or link to that brush below, just so you guys can check it out if you want to. In my opinion, it's one of the best under eye brushes that I've ever used. Now, I did already put a light layer of powder on here on her. I used a Huda Beauty powder, and honestly, my camera it overheated, so I lost that footage, and I didn't have it on my regular iPhone either. But I'm gonna reinforce that powder by using the same powder. I wait a little bit and put a little bit more. This is what I like to call, it's baking, but it's also like dusting powder. Like I'm gonna dust this powder off. So on the underneath her contour and her blush, I like to bake the sides of the cheek because I don't want anything to become like, too wet looking later on. And I want the cheeks to kind of be more pronounced. So I use a yellow translucent powder from Huda Beauty, and I've used that under the cheeks. Here I'm just using glue and some rhinestones just to put like a little kind of like a beauty mark, but I used 3 diamonds and I just put it right there. I just thought it was just something a little cute moment right there. We were actually supposed to make hearts, but we ran out of time. And I also could not find my stickers. So we weren't able to make like the little hearts, because this is supposed to be a Valentine's Day look or Valentine's inspired look. Right now, I'm just dusting off that excess powder. You don't want to let that powder under the cheek sit for too long. But I'm dusting off that excess powder. As you can see, I have removed her tape. I'm taking that Real Techniques blending brush, the purple one, and I am basically putting a bit of bronzer. This one is from Juvia's Place. It's in the palette medium. And I'm just going to dust away the excess powder from her nose. I'm going to dust away the powder from underneath her eyes. You see kind of like a little bit of creasing in there, and that's because we let that concealer sit for too long, as I told you guys before. I will admit when mistakes are made, but honestly, it's still bomb. Like y'all can't even be mad because it's still bomb. Like y'all can't be mad. I'm dusting off the forehead, dusting off the chin, and basically going back in with that bronzer, making sure that nose is not sharp but just defined. I like a defined nose, not a sharp nose. Here I'm going in with that same bronzer from Juvia's Place. It's in the shade medium. Honestly, Juvia's be coming in clutch. They be having the good shit. I mean, ooh, stuff. You cannot curse on here. I meant stuff. They be having the good stuff on here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a white liner and just line her bottom waterline. And as you can see, I'm using a napkin because if she starts to water, the napkin is right there. And I use it to pull down the bottom of the waterline as well. I did go ahead and put another pink shadow underneath, like on her bottom lid. But right now I'm taking my glue. This is the multi-use glue from my brand, the Glam Hustle. I'm taking that and I'm putting that on the as like kind of like how you put on eyeliner. And this is just the way that I put on lashes. Like I like to reinforce the glue. So I got glue that I'm gonna have dry on the lashes, and then I also put glue on the lashes themselves and let it dry. This is how you secure lashes. This is my way of doing it. As a makeup artist, that's something that I have struggled with, as just basically different eye shapes and trying to make lashes stay and making them durable. So this is just my trick as a makeup artist. Put the lash glue on the lash if you're having issues, and then put the glue on the lash and put the lash on the eyelid. That's my little trick right there. But there's other ways that you can do it, but this is just how I do it. My camera did cut off after I put on the second lash, so the rest of the footage is from my cell phone. But I just want to thank you guys for staying here and watching and sticking to the program with me this long. I really appreciate you guys. Please give me a thumbs up. Please follow, comment below what you like about this tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.